Oh my god. You know what the worst part was? Like before this interview, I like farted really bad, and I had to sit there because I all of a sudden he put me in the room, and I was just like, oh, I have to sit in my fart, and then I have to do this interview right now. I was like, damn it. Hey, welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Lucky.
Here I go! This hand of mine is burning red!
And I'm Michael. Realize the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed.
Johnny.
Your darkness swallowed up my son? Who decided that?
Erupting! Burning!
Now all of you.
Die.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I am Lucky.
And I am Michael.
Johnny.
And we make up Anime Casuals. So today, although I do have to apologize, we were a little bit behind, but we are back. So our casual discussion today is on elemental users. So I wanted to do this one just because we're always talking about pretty much in almost every anime there's something like even if you think of that has to do with the elements. Even if you think all the way back to like Dragon Ball, like the Kamehameha originally came from water. Like that's how they used it. It's always been like great to see that in all of anime. And obviously there's the anime adjacent Avatar that's all about elements, and it's always been like a fun thing to kind of look at. But since I came up with this topic, I'll go ahead and start it with number one.
Number one.
Shout out to Ink Ribbon. I love your stuff. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the Water Hashira, Tomioka, dude. That guy from Demon Slayer is awesome. And a little bit of a spoiler if you guys haven't seen it, but when he does this crazy move called Calm, and just wrecks somebody that is just like OP as hell anyway. Just seeing also that what water can do, and especially since it is the attribute to our main character as well, is seeing like the advanced version of that and what the main character eventually will be able to do was just super awesome. And water's always been like one of those elements that has been slept on until I think Avatar kind of brought it out, and all of a sudden you had blood bending, you had you could bend ice to a certain extent, like all this kind of stuff, and you're like, wow, water's kind of like, and then you kind of remember like, oh yeah, like
water.
yeah, water makes up 80% of the earth, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. So, I gotta give it up to my boy Tomioka, man, especially those dead watery eyes, man. The calm.
Yeah. I mean, that's perfect because my first bro that I'm going to be picking is Captain Planet. So, Captain Planet is actually pretty cool.
Like 5 or 6.
Yeah, he's also the element of love, which, I mean, you don't really even think about it. No, for reals, my first one, and probably my greatest one, to be honest. I don't know if yours is, like, your tippy top is Estheth. And I was actually, like, probably a future one is, like, close to her. But I really, like you said, like, I like the element of ice. Because I think it's really interesting how it's usually described. Like we've had, like again, like Avatar, where like Katara like starts working up a sweat, and then she's like, "I am water," and you're like, "Oh yeah!" And I also like, I think it was Bleach that is it his name Hitsugaya? The captain, and he's like, he's like, "There's like, what are you trying to freeze?" He's like, "There's water in the atmosphere, and the way my Bankai works is I just freeze the water that's there, and I just get super powerful." And he's like, "Oh, what's that clock going down?" It's like, "And that's until I'm amazing." And I'm like, okay, dude. But like those kind of elements like kind of feed themselves into like why I like Estheth so much, because her power level is so like obscene. Like by the end of Akame ga Kill, I almost said Kill la Kill. The elemental power of clothing. Yeah, and the way her character like reacts during it, you think that she's just going to be a plain old villain, just killing people left and right. But then she ends up being like, "Oh, I care for the main character," and should get it on, but doesn't. But that's why we've got rule 42. That's okay. There's 52 weeks in the year. Anyways, I just want to get that out and say that I know that. So yeah, Estheth is one of my favorite elemental users.
For me,
first element I thought of was fire. And who did I think of? Actually, I was really surprised just because immediately afterwards, I was like, there's so many other people I could think of for fire. And I mean, anybody from Fire Force. But no, I actually chose Roy Mustang. And I don't know what it is. I think it's just the way he does, the way he do is just, it's really powerful. Just whack and explosion. It's super awesome to see. And it's always fun to see. And it takes a lot of passion from him. So it's just a cool thing to see. And I don't know. That was just my fire pick.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, especially that scene where he's just constantly killing Lust.
Yeah, destroys Lust.
And, like, that whole scene is very intense to just watch. It's like, oh, yeah, villain's dying. It's like, no, she's dying. Like, you know, some people in the world have experienced a flame death, and people have been burned, but nobody in the world has been burned, like...
explosion death.
Like, yeah, explosion, fiery death, like, 30 times in a row. And regenerated back.
Man, Lust gets 2 snaps up. Yeah. Do you guys remember seeing that? It was in Living Color. That was great. But anyway, that's where Jim Carrey came from. But anyway, my next one actually goes along with what you just said, Johnny. Because actually, I was gonna say either Roy Mustang, because you picked that one. I went with my next boy, Louis Armstrong, bro. Oh my God, dude. My boy over here, dude, is killing it, bro. I still remember, from Full Metal Alchemist, by the way. But yeah, he was one of those people. He would like I think in both series. I'm still it's kind of hazy on the original Full Metal Alchemist, but I remember him coming to the aid of everybody when Scar was going nuts. And then all of a sudden, you're just like, this is the first guy that Scar's like looking at, like, I might have to get out of here. You know, Roy's in the rain. He's just like, I'm gonna snap at you, and then like Hawkeye's just like, no, you're stupid. Get out of here. You're useless in the rain, Commander, Colonel. But yeah, I love Mustang. Oh, it's not Mustang. Armstrong, just because of you know, his ability to use Earth, and also he has these little statues of himself that he just punches over to people and all that kind of stuff. Also, you know, he has a very boxing heavy style, and one of the things that one of my favorite lines from Teddy Atlas, one of the greatest boxing coaches, boxing commentators of the world, is whenever people throw uppercuts, he's always telling them, use the floor. And I'm like, yo, this guy's using the floor legitimately. He's using it literally, man. And yeah, I mean, also like when he takes out Sloth in like, well, I don't think he took him out like legitimately at that point, but when he's fighting Sloth with his sister, I mean, that was one of the craziest moments when just this spike comes out of the ground and you're like, whoa, bro, this is a lot. This is a lot. But yeah, I mean, there's little bits of like lightning in there, I guess, as well, just from the punches themselves. But yeah, dude, Armstrong is one of those guys where I'm just like, yo, man. I mean, also you can't go wrong with Christopher Sabat, so you know, that's always good.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna throw out a couple of Pokemon right now, and because Pokemon are some of my favorite elemental users, and that's technically an anime. We got Gengar out here who's using the power of Ghost. That's my favorite element. We've got Mew out there using the power of Mind. That's an element right there. But if I were to put my jokes aside, I think it's just got to be classic that Pikachu's got to be up there with a lot of people's favorite characters. But I would not say that initially, while I was doing some casual research for our casual brand, that I was like looking up and people were like, yeah, Pikachu. I was like, oh, Pikachu! Pikachu's a great element. The power of lightning to kill Ash every single episode. But like, you know, that's our childhood right there, Pokemon. And like,
Yay, murder.
Yeah. Now, if I were to be like pretty specific like about it, and if you were to count it, like if the power of water, like one of my favorites out there was like Magikarp to Gyarados because of the power of water that they have. But like they're not really a water user, if that were to be fair. Like more from playing the Game Boy game and like Hydro Pump. But when you actually see it in the anime, it's like Dragon Rage every time, and it makes hurricanes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have a favorite Pokemon?
Flying.
Do I have a favorite Pokemon? It's been a while since I actually saw Pokemon. If I had to think about one, I mean, I've always liked Onix. I'll be honest with you, I was a lot more of a fighter type than anything. Like Machamp, all those kind of ones were always my thing. But if I had to choose one, probably Onix, just because of how cool he was. Also, the fact that like Pikachu couldn't do anything to him, like the Rock was like the Rock was just kind of invincible to everything that he did, because there wasn't a lot of other elements that were like completely invincible to something.
Yeah.
Especially something. I mean, obviously there are other electricity types that could give him some problems because they actually have physical attacks. But against like a electric rat, I mean, what are they going to do against a giant thing of boulders put
That's
together?
true.
So yeah, I've always liked Onyx.
Yeah. Too bad Onyx is pretty weak against sprinklers.
This is
Yeah.
true. This is true. He's
Yeah.
very bad. He's very
Can't
bad.
leave those on. They'll die.
Before you tell us yours, what's yours? I just wanted to see if any of your Pokemon were elemental users at the same time.
I guess Onyx is kind of. I mean, he does use it.
He's made rock.
He more
Yeah, I was
is
gonna
an
say. Yeah,
element.
I was gonna say that's probably more. Like I said, I'm not.
does
the
rock
biggest
throw.
Pokemon. Yeah, exactly. He throws the rocks, just like any other strong Pokemon. Even like Machamp could probably
Throws
do
himself.
that.
For me, mine's actually not too much of an element user. Actually, I was gonna say if we're not limited to just 150, Tyranitar.
Ooh,
I don't know. I always
Tyranitar.
thought that was a cool Pokemon.
An element of ground, right?
It's like Dragon Ground, maybe.
Dragon ground. Yeah, mine is Gengar, but doesn't really fit in the elemental users. I just thought I would throw Pokemon out there because people don't forget.
Cool would be like Rayquaza.
Yeah.
Just flies around Sky Dragon.
Yeah, and now if I were to leave my joking ones on the side and just throw a third one out there, Todoroki is up there, as he's got that ice powers, the flame powers, and he's really explosive with both of them. Anyways, back to you,
You
Johnny.
guys are just cheating with your multi picks, man.
Yeah,
It was elemental, not elements. People, come on. Anyway, I'm gonna choose one from Hunter x Hunter, which you said you might watch, so it'll be a little bit of a spoiler for you.
I totally will remember. It's okay.
Good. It's this guy named Killua. He's like
I knew that
the
was gonna be
Does he
once
do
you said
electricity
Hunter x Hunter-
stuff?
Once you said Hunter
He
x
does. He
Hunter,
does
I knew
electricity
Killa was
stuff.
coming.
Interesting. A man named Killua
no
does
extremely.
electricity stuff.
He doesn't do it for a while, but it was definitely like, what's this name? What's this name?
How many
And then he
kilowatts
started
does he
doing-
make? Figure it out.
But I think the coolest thing about him is more how he's able to kind of harness that power. It's through a lot of different complicated usage, like Nen, Ko. There's a lot of words like that I'm just not going to get into. But a big thing that helps him is his upbringing. He was tortured a lot, just because his family is a bunch of assassins and they're sadistic. But they would torture him with electricity, and they did it so much. He just doesn't really care anymore. It doesn't really affect him. So he's super gifted with electricity that way. And I think that's a pretty crazy way to be gifted with that, electricity. I mean, yeah, just Killua's pretty badass that way.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this and you have kids at home and you're afraid they might get struck by lightning, just electrocute the crap out of them.
Mhm.
Anime casuals approved. No,
Go
I'm
for
just
Give
kidding,
him a
but,
Pikachu.
yeah, give him a Pikachu, exactly. My next one, when we're talking about fire users, one that really came to my mind is Captain Yamamoto from Bleach, just because he was such a ridiculous threat that even Aizen was kind of like he traps them all in fire during the Arrancar arc or the Espada arc, and Aizen just like, we'll just chill here till it goes away. like what? He's like, I mean, granted, Aizen does have a cool way to get rid of them. I mean, not a cool way actually. That guy sucked.
Well, he
Stupid,
made a guy specifically to
yeah.
fight him.
Wonder why?
I remember.
Yeah, freaking. I hate that.
Hate that
I hated that guy, dude. That was so stupid. But
He's like a worse version of a Nomu.
oh my god, yeah, it was really bad. But yeah, I've always liked Yamamoto. I mean, I feel like they had to nerf him for some scenes, more than others. I've always had a problem with anime power rankings after a while, just because this guy's supposed to be so strong that everybody fears him, and then just I don't know. There are just some things where I'm just like, okay, let's figure this out. But yeah, I've always liked how crazy his fire is, and even in some of the filler arcs, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Also, when those three girls come together to make this stupid moose thing that's just killing all the vice captains, just wrecking all of them, and he just comes in.
Oh my
I'll just give him a light toasting, and just this giant fire comes up, and I was just like, yo guys, you realize that you all suck so bad the head captain had to come and save your ass, but I mean, that's what happens when you have that fire. Also, I'm always wondering why he doesn't do a little bit more sometimes, because I'm like, okay, you probably could have stopped. You could probably get stopped Ichigo from doing all that stuff, saving Rukia immediately. But I'll let it pass. I mean, I've always really liked that character. So what else you got, Michael?
I'm just veering away from elements at this point, getting away from that fire, water, earth, and air. This is an avatar. This is the real world, and there's more elements than just four. And we're gonna talk about this dude in Jujutsu Kaisen who uses the power of shadow.
So he's a ninja.
He's a ninja. Lucky, you remember that guy's name?
Hold on. You said the power of shadow, right? What? It's
Shadow
not-
Dogs.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can't remember any of those guys' names.
Yeah, I don't
I just
either.
remember
Okay.
Itadori. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. That dude is and I won't talk about our main master man because I won't spoil that for anybody. If you want to watch Jujutsu Kaisen, do it without knowing anything because there's like a certain episode in like episode 8 that's really hot and fiery. Speaking of not elements though, so this guy, like, he has the power of shadow, and I think you saw in episode 1, like, he makes all these like shadow dogs. Like
I
when
think
they're
I've seen like the first episode. So
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
if
in the
I've
first
specifically
episode.
Seen this fight? Okay.
like the spirit comes down and then like he sends off like a shadow dog, and then it goes into episode 2 like pretty quickly after that. But he sends out like shadow dogs, kind of like Akashi does. But as you move on, like, he slowly starts developing like any like shonen-esque anime. Their powers evolve and starts getting kind of crazier, and it evolves simply just where he can like kind of reach into his shadow and pull something out. And that's like, I can't wait to see where this guy goes because it's a very unique way of evolving an element that where you think he's just like a puppet user, like any of the Naruto puppet guys were just like, hey, so I get all these different puppets and then I use them, and they continually slightly evolve and I make little tweaks to them. And then it's like, oh no, this guy's power is like several levels deeper. And I'm, obviously there hasn't been enough time for this guy to get fleshed out because Jujutsu Kaisen the first season isn't over yet, but I'm really looking forward to see what's happening with this guy.
Yeah. By the way, his name's Fushiguro.
Fushiguro.
Yeah.
That guy's awesome.
Yeah, dude. He does like shadow puppets, and then he just like summons things. He's like, "Dog, it's a dog. Check it out. Check it out. It's a dog. It's a dog. Check it out."
But he does
Bark,
something
bark.
like that or something like
Yeah. What's the other one? He does like the
he has like some kind of bird thing.
Yeah. There's all kinds of ones, but yeah, you got any more, Johnny?
It's gone. I don't know where it went. I had it
Hold on.
and it was gone.
That's for Lucky.
Oh my God.
What is it? What's my choice, Lucky?
Let me see here. So you had what about Fire Fist Ace? How about that?
Oh shit, yeah, fine.
You want to
that
talk about
yours?
Ace?
No, it wasn't. But, it's still pretty cool. It's in like a similar vein. But that's fine. I'm actually gonna choose Escanor.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, that's gonna be close, but
They both have that, Fire Emperor. They have the
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got- I got you. Cruel
They're
Sun.
like the
it's
same
whatever.
person, identical almost.
Lucky's also stealing what my next one is from. How dare you?
One Piece?
Yeah.
He's stealing One Piece?
He's stealing One Piece from me.
You can't choose One Piece. That's
No,
even
he's not allowed
chosen.
to.
But yeah, Escanor, just because he harnesses the power of the sun, and that's just a cool element. And I even thought about Karna from Apocrypha,
Mhm.
Fate Apocrypha, and he's also a really crazy dude that does stuff with the sun. But I don't know, Escanor is just more fun the way he's so prideful about it, and I always enjoy seeing Escanor at least somewhat over Karna. So Escanor.
We just
Ruler
watched
of the sun.
an anime where someone said
Ah.
artificial sun and summoned the sun. I can't remember what it is now.
No Game No Life.
No game. Nope. No, you jerk. I was like, we didn't just
Almost got
watch this.
I almost got him.
Did he? It was so close to being like, yeah, that's a. Wait a minute.
I mean, there's a sun in that one. Yeah. I mean,
My next one is a little bit of a cheat here because this person can use every element. That's Hiruzen from Naruto, the third Hokage. I've always thought Hiruzen was just so overlooked in the anime. I'm not completely overlooked. I think I want to say overlooked by the fans sometimes because they see crazy stuff by Hashirama, obviously the wood element, all that kind of stuff. I mean Tobirama, yeah. But then there's the fourth Hokage, Naruto, all this kind of stuff. But there's when you get to the third Hokage, you're like, yo man, this guy was really skilled, and we didn't even get to see him in his prime for most of the series. And when we saw him as an old man, I mean, he fought two. Granted, I think they were about like 25% of their strengths, but that's still like 25% of Hashirama's strength. And if you think about how Madara kind of like bodied all of the Kage, I mean that's pretty ridiculous. So thinking about like just how it might have actually been closer. I feel like it might have been like 50%. And then when Kabuto did the Edo Tensei, they started getting closer to like 75% of their strength. But either way, man, that's like a whole Hokage, and he had to face two very difficult elemental users at the same time, and he knows all the elements. And also when we get to see him reanimated, he's the only one that can stop this giant Buddha statue from basically killing everybody from each, and he makes 4 shadow clones to each use an element. I was like, bro, that's such an awesome power. And even Naruto, I mean, granted, I mean, they kind of expanded on this in Boruto, but he can't really use any other like elements that much. Like he uses wind, and it's just wind, and it's wind, and it's bigger wind, and it's freaking shuriken wind, and it's like, oh my god, dude, just use something else, man. Even Sasuke has more diversity than you, man. But yeah, and Hiruzen he's always been like one of my favorite Kage. But yeah, I gotta go with it, my boy Hiruzen.
Okay, Lucky, with this Kekkei Genkai stuff, it's like, yeah, Naruto, use something else. It's like, you got nothing natural in you. Actually, that's a small rant right there. Is like, Naruto should have the powers of his mom, but like never comes out. So I mean, what a wasted. What like my big waste in Naruto would be that. Like, I wish he had the special sealing stuff that his mom had.
Yeah, and I mean the other thing about Hiruzen is like he knows like high level techniques from each of these. I mean, like because technically everybody can use basic elemental things. Like everybody can kind of like that's what the whole premise behind Shikamaru asking the earth elemental user to be like, hey, can you teach us all a very simple a very simple jutsu that is magic in Naruto now. It's awesome. But yeah, just teach us it's Leviosa. But yeah, like, can you teach us a very simple jutsu? But we see Hiruzen. Also, he's one of my favorite characters in the Naruto game because I always put up that mud wall whenever somebody tries to do something to me, and they're just like, dang it. It's like my almighty push for Hiruzen. But yeah.
Like I'm typically bad with names, and for some reason I'm just going a lot of ice people today. Kazuzen? Carp. What's his name? From One Piece. Kazan? The ice user.
Oh, yeah, it's Aokiji. I don't know what his
Aokiji.
I don't know what his.
Oh, that's probably his other name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Aokiji. Yeah, that guy. Ever since he froze an entire tsunami, like I've been all about that guy. And to be honest, like if you use like light as an element too, and like I was picking my favorite admiral at the time, it would have to be Aokiji. Because while the light user is really cool, but you don't really see him get to do anything that's too crazy beyond shooting giant lasers and reflecting himself in his own mirrors. So, I mean, like, that's already insane, but he never does anything like, okay, now I'm going to make 12 of myself and do this crazy ability. It's like, I got lasers and I move really fast. It's like, okay, we get it.
I don't know. We might see that one day.
Yeah, one day. Maybe. Lava user, and I'm so bad with names.
Akainu,
thank you. Do they all start with A?
No, they're
Kizaru.
No, yeah, it all has to do with the like owl means blue. So that's basically how they do it. Akka means red. Shut up! Shut your mouth, Johnny. That's not an element. You get it out of here.
Hey, it's called
the element of my soul.
And like between all three of them, like you see them do varying levels. Like I think the biggest thing that Aokiji does. Akainu does is that he shoots like giant lava fists all over that island, and that's really awesome. But I mean, nothing compares to freezing a giant tsunami caused by Whitebeard, and that was already insane. And then over that, he also freezes the entire harbor, and I just think his power in an entire water world is pretty OP because he's one of the only people who can just move across the ocean without being impaired by not having a boat. He just gets on his little bike and just bikes across the ocean like a crazy man.
I love the buildup of that. Every time we just see some dude riding a bike in the middle of the ocean on some whatever. Like what? And it's
Yeah.
him. He's just making it nice for us.
And he's like
everywhere.
an epitome of
It's
an ice
insane.
user. You know, this is from someone who picked Squirtle as their first Pokemon in
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
original. And like that was the big thing. Is like I think he's really cool. I think his personality is awesome. I don't know why I'm feeling so cold today or chilly, but I mean, like, maybe I just want it to be really cold and get snow out here. But, you know, you never know. Because the snow user is not my favorite. Johnny, you got any more?
No, not so much. I mean, I could probably think of some, but no,
Alkanen.
those were like the first couple that came up into my brain, so I'm okay with that.
I pick non-traditional ones.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say my next one is one that I don't think either one of you guys know, and his name's Asmodeus Alice from welcome to Demon School, Arumacon.
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
duh.
you know, yeah.
It is on my on our watch list, but nobody's watched it
Been
with
meaning
me.
to watch
But yeah, I this actually came out like Halloween 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, oh, it's just a stupid Halloween anime, and then it turned into, I mean, it's like 26 episodes for the first season, so I was like, okay, it's way past Halloween. Like, why am I still watching this? But yeah, Asmodeus just becomes, you know, he starts off as like the first antagonist, and then Aruma just kind of beats him by chance. Like all this kind of crazy stuff happens. He has this ability called Absolute Evasion, which his parents are like dickbags who actually sold him to a demon, and have also like worked him to the bone most of his life. So he has this ability through all these dangerous encounters of working with like giant boxes and dodging them, so he can't be hit basically because he's got like a super sense. So, but Asmodeus Alice, though, you forget how strong he is until you see him compared to all the other demons, because he is ridiculous, because he's got this awesome flame power, but he also has a familiar, you know, a creature that he summons, which is like this giant fire gorgon, and I was like, what? There's fire snakes in this? Oh my goodness gracious. But yeah, just seeing how he deals with like everybody, with how he's able to just deal with people with fire, and also he's like a true bro as well. Like ever since he gets beaten by Aruma, he's always like there for him, and he's always just like, hey master, how are you doing, all this kind of stuff. But you forget how strong he is compared to everybody else, because you know Aruma is very strong for what he is as well. I mean, he's a human, but he's got all these crazy broken abilities, you know, main character stuff. But yeah, Asmodeus is up there and comes from a royal family anyway, so yeah, he's freaking powerful.
I have another odd question for you guys,
No.
because I know we could probably say one of our favorite elemental users is also from Fire Force, but I feel like we're striving away from doing obvious picks.
That's true. There's so many you could pick.
Do you think, I've got two questions. Do you think Fire Force would do well with any other element instead? I mean, obviously Fire Force, that works. FF, I mean, that feels nice. But do you think if it was like Water Force or Shadow Force, or do you think any other element would work as
would
well?
be the only one. Water would be the only one, I think, because they fight fire with water, right? So can you imagine them fighting fire demons with water? That's actually what threw me off about this show, was the fact that they fight fire demons with like fire powers.
Like fire with fire, man.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, man, this is some crazy stuff. But I mean, granted, there is the exception of that one guy that like rings his instrument thing and everything turns to ice. That guy's awesome. That guy's awesome. He's still my favorite.
You know, as I'm thinking about it, I don't know how many other would really work. Because yeah, I tried to. For some reason, my brain was like, yeah, if they were all like Earthbenders, even though they're not, it's Fire Force. And I don't know. I don't think that would work the same way.
The Earth Expedition.
Oh my God, that house is on rocks.
Crush
Shoot
it.
some gravel up there.
I mean, air wouldn't work either.
No.
Like that would be bad. You just make all the fire bigger. Yeah, you're right. Like water would be probably best. I mean, lightning also wouldn't work. So I mean, like, and as we know, lightning is just an adjacent fire, as Avatar has taught us.
Actually, speaking of adjacents, Lucky, I'm surprised you didn't make the adjacent pick and choose the guy from Korra. I don't remember his name. He's the guy that learns to fly.
That's not anime.
Yeah, no, I mean that's
It's an
anime
adjacent.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
anime.
anime
that.
adjacent.
Henry Rollins, man. Yeah. No.
No, see, he gets it. He knows.
Yeah, nah, man, that guy was pretty crazy, but yeah, I mean, the Elements is just a crazy thing, like as it is. So, but yeah, did you guys have any more like actual ones?
I've got a couple, but nothing I want to add. At least I said Todoroki. I mean, obviously, there's a couple other characters that don't really fit the elemental like thing.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could say Sanji because his element is cooking, but that doesn't work.
He's in his element, man. He's in his element.
He's in his element.
You know, I'll do an honorable mention. I liked that. He's another one. I don't know his name. He's from Fire Force. Obvious pick. The guy who
Aokiji?
skateboards. Yeah, Aokiji from Fire Force. He shoots ice everywhere. But the guy with the skateboard who, when he powers up, he can almost become as powerful as
The guy with the
Captain.
brands.
Yes, the
Yeah.
brands. Yeah, that
Wow.
guy. It
And
was
the
just
hammer.
really cool seeing him do some crazy stuff. I mean, we'd seen him do stuff with like the skateboard, and I was like, that's cool. I mean, that's nothing to really write home about. But then he did all that stuff from the recent season, and it was just insane. It blew me away. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that guy.
Oh,
Nice.
by the way, there's a couple of them out there, but what's his name? The guy who's in charge of Naruto for like a brief amount of time with the wood user.
Yeah, Yamato.
Yeah, Yamato. I thought it was really cool. I wish he got a little bit more of a better role out there because
my
I thought.
God. Michael, you're about to trigger me right now. I already made the Boruto rage video. I'm about to like rage again right now just from the way they shit on my boy Yamato. Yo, also they gave him an awesome
down.
English dub voice actor. They give him freaking Troy Baker. They give him like all this cool stuff. I'm like, and then they're just like, this guy kind of sucks. Why don't we also use you for Pain? And I'm just like, what? What about Yamato? And then Yamato just gets shit on just shit on, bro. Like not even like good shit. It's like diarrhea shit. It's not even
Oh.
like they couldn't even shit on him the most proper way, man. It's
That mud butt.
but yeah, and then
The powers
honorable-
of the best Hokage. I mean, like, come on.
yeah, come on, man. And my honorable mention would have to be Fuego Leone. She's from Black Clover. She's introduced after one of the captains is incapacitated, and she's his
Right.
brother. And she's insane. Like she literally
She is
always
insane.
she always comes up to people like Asta and his crowd over at the Black Bulls, and which is one of the squads that they are. And she literally just goes over there all the time and just picks up people with these flaming hands that she creates and just like takes them to like some random training ground. Like she's brought them to a volcano once. She's done all kinds of crazy stuff, and she's even brought like the captain of their crew and been like, "All right, you're coming too." Like, what? No.
She manhandles everybody.
And hearing like Christopher Savick being like, "No, what are you doing?" Oh man, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll be leaving our link tree in the description down below, which has all of our casual content from
Link
Casual Bros, Generally Casual,
Hold on.
Anime Casuals, Mental Health Casual, whatever the hell they're doing casual. And
Be casual.
yeah, there you go.
So there.
And yeah, and then also if you guys want to check out our other videos out on YouTube, if you guys are listening on whatever podcasting site you're listening to, and if you're on YouTube and you want to listen to this more in a podcasting way, maybe you're doing stuff, maybe you're driving, you don't want to listen to this and you don't want to watch this at the same time, so maybe you want to check it out on the podcasting sites. So yeah, those are always options
one's
for you
defective.
guys. And yeah, and if you're listening on podcast, they're doing stuff that is weird, and it's really bothered me. really distracted me for a second. I was just like, I saw something move in and I was like, is that a floppy hand? What's going on here?
We're casual over here. We're super casual.
Well, speaking of casual guys, always remember to keep
It.
Casual.